Thanks for joining me on this adventure. I'm out winter camping for 2 weeks with my dog Lucy in Algonquin Park. It's day 2 of the trip. I started yesterday pretty late in the day after 3 p.m. on Opeongo Road, and I skied my way down the road and then out onto the lake and made my way across the lake here up into the forest and found this nice bush campsite. I have a big route ahead of me, so I really got to get going. Not too far from the Opeongo access point. If anyone was wondering, there are actually ice huts here in Algonquin. And we're just reaching a bigger part of the lake. It's pretty windswept out here. And that's why I brought my skis, which will help speed up my journey on these long, flat lakes. And my dinner is finally ready at 10:30 at night. I think there's going to be a lot of late dinners on this trip. It's a lot of work traveling solo with a hot tent. I've got a mix of freeze-dried meals and some dehydrated meals. Tonight I'm having a chana masala freeze-dried meal. This meal has 620 calories, and most of my dehydrated meals have more calories, so I'm going to try and eat them at the end of the trip. I brought a little bit of whiskey with me, so I'll have a little bit. On these trips it feels like I'm just going non-stop, so when I finally get into the tent and get to enjoy the wood stove and just sit here and relax, it's awesome. Lucy's beside me here, she's fast asleep. Couldn't wait to get into the hot tent. She's built for the winter. I did it. I'm out on the lake before noon. I got up at 7 a.m. this morning, so that allowed me enough time to get everything packed up. And it's a beautiful sunny day. It's cold though. I think today might be the coldest. It was when I looked at the long-term forecast before leaving. It's supposed to get down to -20 tonight. But right now in the sun, it's gorgeous. So I'm going to hopefully cover a good distance today. I'm going to be really vigilant about watching out for slush. And with these conditions, it should be easy to see if there's any spider holes or anything like that. Hello, Lucy. Good girl. Sit. Good girl. Oh, you like that snow, eh? Oh, look at you. Is it nice in the sun? I just finished packing up. We had a nice campsite here, perched on this hill. Well, the only bad part about that was I had to carry all the bags up individually because there was no way I was going to pull up my heavy toboggan. At the start of this trip, I weighed all my bags, and my toboggan was around 230 pounds. That's not including my snowshoes and skis. Part of the reason for that is all Lucy's food as well. And I also brought some raw food for her in the morning, a pound a day. So every day I'm losing a few pounds. The toboggan's getting a little lighter, which is nice. But there was no way I was going to be able to pull my toboggan up onto this hardwood hill. The nice thing up here though is that, yeah, I was able to get maple last night for the wood stove. So it was nice and warm and toasty. Sped up boiling water a bit. And today, well, it's sounding a bit windier today. I was expecting winds on the big lake, and it sounds like today I'll get them for the last little bit. Yesterday, what did we do? We did almost 8 kilometers, which was good. Caught up on some of those kilometers that we didn't complete the first few days, or a couple days. Today I want to do another at least 6, hopefully a bit more, and get off Opeongo. I'm here in the east arm of Opeongo, and I want to get to the portage over to Wright Lake. Well, it's hard to see right now, and even if I could see, it's not really a good landmark or anything, so I'm probably going to take a bearing with my compass, just so I can have the most direct path and avoid pulling extra distance. But today so far, the conditions are awesome. It's a lot warmer than yesterday. As the day went on yesterday, it got colder and colder. It was by far the coldest day yet. And you know what happens when it gets cold? You get that frost snow, which is awful for pulling. So it got progressively harder to pull my toboggan yesterday. So today it feels like butter. So I kind of want to go out there. I'm gonna take a compass bearing so I don't go over there or over there. Sorry I didn't film any more last night. I ended up getting to camp around 7 p.m. Took me a while to find a good spot on this portage. I have to be 30 meters off any trails, so yeah, it was pretty thick at the start. Then finally I found a marshy area. I ended up eating after 11 p.m. It was ridiculously late. And today we got out a little bit later, just because I wanted to sleep in a little bit till 7. I've been getting up at between 6 and 7. This route I have planned is pretty ambitious, I've realized, for myself solo. But that's okay, I think I can still do it. I remember how much I hate portages with boardwalks. I just spent a bunch of time flattening out a space on either side of this. I'm gonna switch over to the other side right now. Today is day 7. This is going to be the halfway point of the trip, at least. Unless it takes me longer to get out here. Just got to keep moving every day. And that toboggan keeps getting lighter every day. Paige said she helped me with the meal plan. Thank you, Paige. She was calculating the calories because we tend to do that more for winter trips. And she was saying I brought around 75,000 calories. Quite a bit of food. So right now we're camped on the portage to Little Dixon, pretty close to the end of it. It started snowing like crazy when I was setting up camp here. I appreciate having the hot tent because I was able to dry everything out. My water is boiling and I've pretty much used all the wood. I got one more piece here and I think, what do I have? Yeah, one piece on the back. And that's it. I've been trying to cut the least amount of wood possible, just enough, but I always leave like a leftover piece of a tree outside that if I need to, I can go and cut. So I have a small softwood pole out there that I can go cut up if I really needed the extra wood, but it doesn't look like I'm gonna need it. And the advantage of having less wood is it encourages me to get moving in the morning when I'm all stiff and sore and cozy. I use this filter to catch any of the debris from the melted snow. I normally fill into this and then fill up my smaller mouth bottles with this bottle. This doesn't fit in here. I almost forgot about my soup. To have a soup for lunch. So it goes from there, and then across this beaver dam, and then up that way. Instead of going up a hill and then down a hill, which are both really steep hills, we just went out onto this pond across where the ice is thicker, through the bush here and out. And now we're gonna head back into the forest on the trail. Finished off all my bagel breakfasts with bacon and cheese, so now I'm on to the oatmeal. But I've got 2 different mixes. I don't remember exactly what they are, but they're really good. I like oatmeal. And there's also whole milk powder added as well for extra fat and protein. Yesterday was pretty good. The portage was pretty tough, but I just took my time with it. And yeah, I'm getting stronger and my toboggan's feeling lighter, so it's not so bad. Some funny things of yesterday, let's think. We were coming down the trail and Lucy's all poofed up and she's starting to growl a little bit and let out little hoofs, and then eventually starting to bark, and I'm thinking, oh, there's a wolf or something, or a moose or something ahead that she's alerting me to. And I'm looking, waiting, trying to see something come out of the forest. And then I clue in, it's this big birch tree with part of its bark sticking out. And there was some chaga growing on it. So I don't know if it looked like a face or something to her. But yeah, she was pretty spooked about it. It took a while even for me to like convince her to go look at it. But yeah, it's kind of funny. That's just the way she is. I'm gonna keep pushing on. I got the skis on to go across this lake. And then a portage into Partridge, so that's hopefully not too bad. And I can leave the ski boots on, just put on my snowshoes. Checking out the topography though, I think it's up and down maybe, so we'll see how it goes. We're across the portage and we've made it to White Partridge. That portage wasn't too bad. I was able to keep my ski boots on with the snowshoes for all of it. There was a steady up at the beginning, and then you were kind of up at the top, going through the trees, rolling little hills, which was quite nice. Snow is a little deeper today after what we got last night, overnight. Lucy's good at not wasting her energy after, well, this is day 8, I guess. When I stop, she normally stops when we're on the move. And she's often grooming herself and cleaning out snowballs and that from her feet. She's a good dog. So now I have just enough time before dark to ski across this big lake. I can see though right here there's looks like slush puddle, so I gotta watch out for slush because I hit one spot on the other lake that was pretty nasty. The snow is generally more wind packed and better for skiing on the big lakes. Good girl, Lucy. Almost across. Good girl. I know you're tired. Let's go. Good girl. You gotta let me know if there's any slush. You're good at that. Come on. To start my day today, I have a big nasty hill on this portage up to May Lake. Last night I actually pre-packed it while I was looking for firewood. I'm not going to put my top bag on my toboggan just because it's pretty heavy, and so I'll start by going up with my top bag, which has like water and snacks, and I have my extra boots and Lucy's bowl, some camera equipment, extra layers. And I'll take that on my shoulders with my camera case, and I'll bring that to the top, and then I'll come back for the toboggan and do it second, just to make it a little easier on myself. Let's conquer this day and these portages. It's gonna be a rough one. Whew, I had to take my snowshoes off because even with the top bag off, it was too heavy. No grip. Let's see where I dropped my snowshoes. I feel like it's gonna be a day like this. Hard travel on steep portages. Look at that hill behind me. Nasty. And there's another one at the top. I'm gonna go, keeps going. I'm not done. I'm gonna go pack the trail. Snow is fairly deep now after a few days of what seems like constant snow. It's up to Lucy's chest. Keeps going up. I'm at the top with my top bag and camera case, that's it. I think anyways. There's a little meadow behind me. This is definitely the worst uphill I've had on this trip so far. Because right at the top here too, there's a creek you gotta cross. It's like a dip in it, and not gonna be fun either. And this is where I gotta pull my toboggan up. Keeps going. So we're on the portage up to North Branch, and the portage was going pretty smooth so far, but I had checked the topos and there's a weird hump in the middle, and we've reached that weird hump. I planned a trail around. I just went around and scouted with Lucy and set some tracks, and we're gonna do that so we don't have to go up this crazy steep hill. This won't be too bad. Well, I say this won't be too bad, but everything's relative. After doing that, what we did first thing in the morning, everything seems not so bad. Come on, Tommy. It's not so bad in here. When I saw this, I was intrigued. Decided to name my toboggan Tommy. And Tommy's my good friend some days, and other days he's not so good. Today he's been alright, considering the terrain. Now we leave the marsh, start heading into the forest, a little bit uphill, but a much gentler grade compared to if we had gone the other way. Come on, Tommy. Come on. Atta boy, Tommy. Atta boy. There's humps. They're a little tough. Don't get caught. I swear it's easier. I swear. Come on. Tommy. Is that the trail? Yes, it is. Woohoo! That's the wrong way, Lucy. That's what we avoided. That way. And if those of you who are wondering why I'm not getting Lucy to pull, well, it's because yesterday I was trying to get her to pull on some of the portages and she was not pulling at all. Was not having it. And I want pulling to be a fun thing, so I don't want to overdo it. So I'm giving her a break. And her paws are a little tender right now. But not bad, just tender. Oh, look at her. She's starting to do her dance again. It's getting late in the day. Every time we stop, she's like, "Is this where we're making camp?" Stops and then starts grooming and cleaning herself. Anyways, let's get to this lake. At least get out onto it, maybe camp on the side of it somewhere. It's getting late. such a good feeling to finally be in the tent. The water's just about to boil. Just about. Pour myself some whiskey. It's almost done. Maybe 2 more drinks. Cheers to a good day. A tough day. That's part of it. And there's lots of tough portaging coming up. Lots of little lakes in this section before reaching Grand. Tonight for dinner, I'm doing up a meal that Paige made me. Dehydrated it. It is a chicken quinoa bowl, Mexican quinoa. And then I have some corn chips to add to it once it's rehydrated, and some guacamole. I already ate this meal once. I have 4 portions of it, or had 4 portions, so I have 2 left over. 1,000 calories, so it's a pretty hefty meal. Man, I can barely talk right now, I'm so tired. Oh, God. Lucy's asleep here beside me in the corner. We got a pretty good routine here at camp now, and she's really good when I'm setting up. The campsite we're on here is a nice marsh campsite. This is just a little inlet off North Branch Lake. Perfect spot for this little hot tent. And it's not very cold tonight at all. Like compared to last night. Last night was very cold. I'm guessing around minus 20. It's been non-stop, kind of off and on snowing for days now. Oh. I think I need to add wood to the stove. That's pretty good. There we go. Boiling water in the meal. Lots of protein. Can't wait. About 15 minutes later, everything's rehydrated. Quinoa bowl that weighs 5 pounds. I'm gonna enjoy this. Come on, Tommy. Come on, get over that hump. Good morning, or good afternoon. We're on the portage to Loonskin, and it's been a little bit of a slog so far. There's been a few steep sections like this where I've just pulled off the snowshoe, or first I've packed a trail and then pulled off the snowshoe to boot pack up. I'm using them for support. It's worked fairly well so far. We're almost halfway through. It's a long one though, almost 5 kilometers. So yeah, hopefully we get it done today. Ugh. Nighttime's quickly approaching, and we're still on this portage. It's tough today. I could have used a break day. Anyway, there's still over 1 kilometer to go, And the trail is up on the side here next to this creek instead of going up on the side and dealing with side hills, which are awful. And the ups and downs of this trail, I'm just down here on the side of this creek. I still have to be a little cautious though because of slush, and yeah, Lucy's investigating over there. She's pretty smart though around ice. She's like my heads up when there's slush, that's for sure. All right, let's keep going. The slog continues. Good morning. We're here very close to Loonskin Lake. We made it across this portage. I'm happy to be done it. It's definitely probably the coldest morning. You can tell by the sound of the snow. And you get that styrofoamy sound, you know it's cold. So I gotta pack up quick here, keep moving, especially for Lucy. She normally just lies on her mat while I'm packing up, but I don't want her to get too cold. She's eating though, so that's gonna keep her warm. But before I start packing up, I thought I'd show you what I normally pack for the day for lunch and snacks. And this was full when we started. Actually, I had food in another bag. So we've got like Lucy's kibble for dinners. This is what I've been feeding her in the morning. A pound of raw. For every day, a hunk of salami with a hunk of cheese. So that's one. Two is always a bar. Hornby bars are good. Bag of nuts. Some Werthers and maple candies. And then that with my soup. That's my snacks for the day. Loonskin had just enough slush almost everywhere to make going across this small lake really miserable, having to stop and scrape over and over again. And because it's so cold, that slush just freezes instantly. Finally across. We're at the portage over to Barron Lake. Let's get this done. Gonna keep the ski boots on so that I can ski the next lake, which is a bit bigger. Hopefully it'll be a bit more windswept and less slush. You can see here's a pocket, and that little bit just makes your toboggan feel that much heavier. Not much on here, a little bit on the kicker skin. Good afternoon. We're on the portage up to the top of Grand Lake. I've been dreading this one, the biggest uphill of the trip probably. When I was planning this route, I was checking the elevation profile, and this was by far the biggest blip. While there was guys who were fishing on Greenleaf Lake, which is the lake we just passed. But thankfully, these guys packed it down with their snowmobiles, and Lucy's helping me pull, which is huge help. On a packed trail like this, she pulls pretty well. I think that was the worst of it. I think it still goes up. Oh, it still goes up. So if we can make it to Grand Lake today, that'd be great. And it'll be nice to have a long ski out on Grand. Looking forward to that. I don't have snowshoes on, I'm just in my mucklucks cruising with this pack trail. It wasn't that nice to see actual people out on the lake. Felt like a shocker when I came to the end of the portage and to see an ice hut on the lake. Lucky people. I can't ice fish in this park. And I can't drive a snowmobile in here either. There are lots of challenges having a dog on a camping trip, especially a winter camping trip, but Lucy's made for the winter. On a section like this, where I can get her to help me pull up that hill that we just finished, oh, it's amazing. I don't like doing that by myself, would have been awful. Well, we're done that portage. I can't believe how easy it was. The lake is just behind me there. It's plowed in here. And those guys, while we were doing the portage, they actually went out and passed us on their snowmobiles. They must have parked just in here. There's a little plowed section. Good to know, I guess, if I needed an evac, someone could drive into here. Well, probably technically I'm not allowed to drive in here. Anyways, let's get down onto that lake. We'll probably head to the other side. It looks a bit better. Judging by the topography, a bit flatter. Hi, Lucy. Hey, good girl. Yeah. Good girl. I know you're tired. We've come to this marsh just on the far side of Grand Lake. Portage is on the other side. I love marsh campsites because you can flatten them out and be perfectly level. Our campsite last night was not level at all. It's probably the worst one so far. I had to use logs under my foam pad to level it out so I wouldn't slide towards the stove. So I'll go over, our routine for setting up because we got a good routine now. Time to stomp around, make our tent platform and camp area. So there you have it, a big flattened area. So when we get to camp, Lucy is eagerly awaiting her pad. Get her off the snow, and then she can take care of her feet and makes her happy. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. So now she'll chill out there until I have her dinner ready. Okay. Good girl. Next up is setting up the tent. I've got the frame up, and when I'm setting up the tent, I just think about where the wind's coming from because of the stovepipe coming out at an angle. I don't want the wind blowing into it. And since the lake is over there and it seems like the wind's been coming off the lake, I'm going to want the stovepipe facing the forest. Hey, Lucy girl, you ready to go inside? Yeah? Shake. Good girl. Okay. Good girl. Getting rid of all the snow. The last step to setting up the tent is installing the wood stove. In the tent we're gonna have the elbow and the damper. Legs are stretched out. I'm really pushing it. Now line the elbow up. Start right there. Need to finish connecting this. I like to have equal tension. Put a little bit more on that other side. And if it blows. Alright, so the tent's all good now. And that normally takes me an hour and a half maybe. And then the last piece is finding firewood. Everything around here is pretty alive. Probably gonna go into the forest through here. I'm here in the forest just beside camp. I found these two monsters last night when I was looking for wood. These huge white pines. Yeah, you don't find trees like this all the time. This is what you get on the east side of the park. Lots of pines. We're on Grand Lake now, about, I don't know, 8-9 kilometers to the campground. And I'm planning to exit by Acre Road. And I'm looking forward to a long flat lake. Hopefully that's windswept and easy. Well, we're not going through there. I kind of assumed it'd be sketchy ice or running water, and it is. So we're gonna have to go around, not up here, I'm gonna actually go on the other side. There's a little bay, and then up, over. We made it up on top of the rail line. And the sketchy water down below is right here. Whenever there's a narrowing, you have to be careful. And we're gonna drop back down there and continue on. Conditions on the ice have been good. I had to pull my top bag off to get up the steep incline up to the rail line here. But I was actually able to pull up my toboggan. I was nervous I wasn't going to be able to. Lucy's checking out where I came up. Pretty steep incline. It's the last day. Can you believe it? 14 days. This is the last one. Yesterday we had a killer day. Did almost 12 kilometers, which is pretty crazy. Great day, longest pulling day, hauling day that I've done all trip, but the conditions were perfect. We're camped here in the bush off Opeongo Road. We did a few kilometers up the road, most of the uphill section actually. So today we have less than 4 kilometers to go, which is nothing. And most of it's flat, and then at the end it's all downhill to Barron Canyon Road. And that's where Paige will meet us at 4 p.m. So we've had a lazy morning. Like I say, right now it's, I think, the afternoon. Really relaxed, just enjoyed ourselves because we know we don't have a big day. Lucy's been sleeping the whole day, pretty much. We're both tired. This has been a lot moving every day for 14 days, but it's been great. Do you want to see Paige? Do you want to go see Paige? We're going to see Paige today, Lucy. Yeah, can you believe it? Oh. Are you excited to see Paige? Yeah, you are, I know. Big stretch for a big girl. She's done well this trip. The only thing I noticed the other day is on her paws here, she's got some spots where, or on this leg. I don't know if it's from her removing ice balls and then she just kept going and chewed the hair away. There's one spot and there's another there. She doesn't like when I touch her paws, or she'll start snarling. But her paws have been fine. Paige should be happy that I took care of her. That was her biggest worry going into this trip. It wasn't me, it was Lucy. Time to pack up and get out of here. Line out. Pull. Good girl. Good pull. Good pull. On bite. Good girl, let's see. Whoa. Sit. Good pull. Good girl. We did it, Lucy. We did it. There we go. We made it to the road before Paige. It's all downhill, just that last stretch. It was a little bit, there was more uphills than I thought actually. We had to do before that. And what time is it? 3:38. Okay, so we made really good time. We did those 3 and a bit kilometers in an hour and a half or less, really. I'm a little sweaty now because I was pushing it.